Cal, talk about pressure. In the prototype division, Porsche has put together a huge win streak.
They really have. They're on a roll right now, but their season didn't start off that well. In fact, it was Acura who came out of the gate strongest, winning at Sebring. But since that time, 5 consecutive class victories for Penske and Porsche, and 4 consecutive overall. That puts the pressure back on Audi. That's their territory. They are desperate for another win. Now, in GT1, we have a great battle going on within the Corvette squad. Yesterday in qualifying, it was Johnny O'Connell who laid down the fastest time, but guess what? Following qualifying, his car failed tech. He's going to have to start the race from the back of the grid. They can't seem to catch a break this year. We also have to talk about the Enger factor. At Lime Rock Park, there was battles throughout the field. Typically, it involved Thomas Enger. He made contact with practically everyone out there. There's a lot of consternation in the paddock following the race from both officials and his team. The eyes are on him this weekend. He needs a good, clean race, Greg.
Hi, I'm Timo Bernhard. I'm born in Hamburg, South Germany.
Hello, I'm Romain Dumas. I am from ALMS in south of France.
I'm Dino Capello from Santo Stefano Belbo, Piemonte, Italy.
Alan McNish from Dumfries in Scotland. Hi, I'm Oliver Gaddin from Yardley Hastings, England.
I'm Olivier Beretta from Monaco, Monte Carlo.
Hi, I'm Mika Salo from Helsinki, Finland, currently living in Monaco.
I'm Jaime Melo from Brazil.
Again, bringing them up fairly slow. McNish laying back just a little bit. See what he can do into this first turn. He went to the outside. They defended. Now he looks again. But this time, the Penske's got it right on the front row.
And look at Fernandez. He's looking for a way through as well, and that's Franchitti. But it's Dindo Capello in the one car. You see the 2 car, the Audi, the silver and red machine up ahead, getting sideways as it tries to put the power down.
Simple survival. Oh, we've got 2 cars off, the Highcroft Acura, and that is Capello.
Look to your right, that's Stefan Johansson in the blue Highcroft machine. And there you see it. Just, we talked about it in the open. This is a very narrow racetrack. There wasn't enough room at the start.
Side by side through the S's is tough any time, and certainly at the start of the race with a congestion. But look at coming after him right now. Pirro, what a move. Aggressive to the inside, pop to the outside. Not quite enough to get the job done, but looking very racy early on, going after Maassen in a big way. Now in GT2, the battling is on, and look at the number 31. Thomas Enger is in an absolute war right now with the number 45 of Jörg Bergmeister. As a matter of fact, we just caught the tail end of a pass for second.
Well, Bergmeister had obviously had a very good start. He qualified third and got in front of Thomas Enger, but right now the 2 Ferraris running in line astern. So Thomas said he's going to try and behave here today, but he is a racer. He has one mode, and that is go.
And there we go. Pirro has gone into second overall and is now chasing down the overall race leader, Timo Bernhard. And this guy is on the move. Emanuele Pirro, you saw him right as we went to break, take over second, and he has closed it up even more, Cal. He is all over the back right now of Timo Bernhard, the yellow Porsche, just exiting at the part of the track they call the keyhole, and down this long back straight. You see the headlights flashing, and there's traffic up in front. That is Bernhard moves to the inside. Look at Pirro. He's come up along the inside. Oh, he threads the... What a move. He threaded the needle. Got around that Ferrari, Cal.
Unbelievable move by Pirro. That is the far section of the racetrack where we said the Audi would be strong, but amazing difference in speed there down that back straightaway. The Audi, according to their telemetry reading that I got this morning from the team, is about 175 miles an hour down that back straight. And really, the Penske Porsche wasn't held up by those 2 GT2 cars. That was pure outright speed.
By the way, we just got word that the number 9 of Stefan Johansson might be getting a mechanical black flag. You're getting reports of spraying on the track. Oh, another needle thread move, just knife between the top 2 cars in the GT2 category. You got 4 different races going on the track at one time. Does it get better than that? That was unbelievable.
Pirro's driving like it's contract time. It's like his rider's on the line. What a great move to take the lead, and what another great move there to deal with that traffic. And there you see, that's probably half a second to a second there that Timo Bernhard just suffered dealing with that Ferrari.
We are on board with Diaz once again, folks. This is the middle of a battle for 3rd overall and 2nd in the P2 category. Diaz sits right now 4th in P2, actually 4th overall, 3rd in P2. Maassen in front, and Leitzinger in the Dyson Tetford Norcold car is all over the back of Diaz.
That is so tough when you're trying to be aggressive and then defend at the same time, and Leitzinger's got so much experience. He won here in 05, had 2 wins, in fact, in sports car competition that year. He loves Mid-Ohio, and this team Team Dyson Racing, and here he goes. He looks to the outside, lights a beautiful move, takes the position from Diaz.
Around the outside of the carousel, that puts him now up into third in class, fourth overall.
And we can't forget, there's still a lot of racing to go, so there's time is to be patient.
Now there's been contact, Danny. There is definite damage to the back end of Salo's red Ferrari, so it got a little bit tight there, down at the end of the back straightaway. This could cut down that right rear tire on the red Ferrari, number 62.
Well, Pickett came through in that prototype. Here comes Enga now, down underneath Salo. Trying to get it. Does Salo go for a little payback? Well, he's still there. He does.
Absolutely. This is just two drivers who are very frustrated, and Mika Salo is angry. That was angry driving there. And here comes Thomas Enga back onto the racetrack. Salo will need to pit. Enga will need to think about, is there any damage to my race car right now? He continues for at least another lap.
Here comes Pickett in that white and red prototype, and that may have affected the thing here, I think.
It did, but Mika had to let him have his way through, and then Thomas just misjudged it, didn't give Mika enough room, ran into the back end of the Ferrari there, and that immediately has ruined Mika's day. Now, right here, I would say that Mika Salo was definitely coming back at Thomas on purpose. That wasn't a racing incident. He was just angry at what Thomas did to him at the end of the back straightaway.
We're getting a report of what they call an open black flag, which is an outright black flag, and they're going to park him for 5 minutes, is the report that we're getting. And that has now been confirmed from race control, so he's going to be spending a little time in the penalty box.
So we're also now hearing that Mika Salo has got a similar black flag with a 2-minute penalty for that payback that he did to Thomas Enga. So you can't go out there on a racetrack. This is dangerous stuff that these boys are playing with.
Mika, can you give us your account of what happened with Enga?
Guy's just a lunatic. I think it is IMSA have to do something about this. He was on probation already, and what he did again, he just hit me from behind on the braking and damaged my car.
Did you feel the need to react and hit him back?
Yeah, it was just revenge. I can't tolerate that. It was second race in a row and he takes us off the race. I can't tolerate that. The guy's an idiot.
Well, it was an unfortunate situation for both of us. I was running pretty close to him. Unfortunately, there were two prototypes. They get by and suddenly slow him down too much in one of this corner. And I just barely, touched him. It wasn't intentional, but unfortunately it happened.
Well, after that, of course, Mikko had some real harsh words about you, said you should be banned, called you an idiot, said the move he did on you later on was just purely revenge. Any comments on that?
Well, I would understand, what happened, because of course I shouldn't be giving this kiss. Unfortunately, that revenge which I get, that for sure has nothing to do with racing.
Now, while we were away, we had some pit stops, and we had a change of the lead, but it was brief. It was actually Dumas in the Penske Porsche, the yellow car, just coming into the screen right there, came out in the lead after the pit sequencing, but Marco Werner has now gone back into the lead. Now, Calvin, how does that happen when they're putting in 9 liters less fuel in the diesel and the Audi for Dumas to be able to still come out in the lead?
Well, here we're looking, it's 81 liters, just over 21 gallons going into the Audi tank. But the key is by stopping first, when Marco Werner now goes back on track, what he's going to do is take a little bit of while to get tire temperature and tire pressure back up. Meanwhile, Timo Bernhard has stayed out on the racetrack, laying down some very fast lap times with a very low fuel load. And shortly after here, in fact, it was 7 minutes later, this is Timo Bernhard now turning over the reins to his teammate, Romain Dumas. Now, we understand up and down pit lane, everyone is amazed how quickly the Penskes are getting the fuel into the race car. It's pretty mandatory in terms of the rig you're allowed to use, but Penske have got it sorted out, and they've shaved precious seconds off of that refueling stop.
And even though it was, as I said, the number 7 Dumas Penske Porsche that was out front, here is how Werner was able to get by.
Once again, that straightaway speed, that turbo diesel just lights it up down that backstretch. 175 miles an hour, just sweeps around the outside of Dumas. On board with Romain, and there you see the speed differential. I was like, boy, what was that all about? Give me one of those.
Now back into the GT2 category. Here is Johannes van Overbeek, who has taken over that number 45 entry from Jörg Bergmeister, and that car continues to lead over 30 seconds in hand over the number 61. Jimmy Bruni is how he likes to be called in the States. Gian-Maria Bruni, who runs in the FIGT Championship as well, as second. And the number 61, Risi Competizione Ferrari, the Tafel Porsche, is third. Salo is fourth, and the fifth place car is the Team Transport entry. This car right here, that beautiful white Porsche with the blue and green trim. Number 54, Terry Borcheler, very talented driver, currently behind the wheel. We have leaders that have been cycling through the pit stops right now, and that has changed things up just a little bit. Current leader is shown as number 15, Adrian Fernandez, as we hop on board with Adrian, and he has just completed his stop, so that's
behind you. He got tires, the 7 Porsche.
That's going to cycle off, and you heard what they were talking about right there, is that some of the cars out there took tires, others didn't, and this is the number 7 of Romain Dumas.
Well, he just took the lead back from Adrian Fernandez, so it's going to be interesting to get information from the pits on who took tires and who didn't. Remember the last round at Lime Rock Park, the number 6 machine took tires and had a much faster race car at the end and overtook this car for the win. So it is critical on a track that is as demanding as Mid-Ohio to have good grip at the later stages of the race.
And I talked a little bit about Johnny O'Connell's brilliant drive as he had closed in to within 12 seconds of the 4 car. Then Max got behind the wheel and closed up to almost 2 seconds behind, but then he had a bit of a moment, and it came in a moment with the number 26 XM Satellite Acura, Cal.
Here we come, coming off the carousel. Brian Herter sticks the number 26 machine down on the inside. Jan was unaware that he was there. Contact was made and spun Jan around, so that really has destroyed his race. He needed to be tight to the 4 car during the pit stops to try and leapfrog them. But the difficulty is, Greg, when you're on board one of these big GT1 machines. Here we come down in the carousel. Brian makes the move around the outside here. And Jan is kind of blindsided. Remember, he's turning right through the corner. He will not have seen Brian make that move. The LMP2 car is much lower. He gets hit by the GT1 bodywork at the back. Jan was unaware.
And the number 26 did get a stop-and-go penalty for what the officials deemed avoidable contact. It's one of those racing incidences, but that is how it was deemed, and they did a quick stop. Hurt his back out, but he is now back 4th place in P2 at this time. You got a good battle going on right here. Mr. Briscoe and that number 6 car has closed right up on Dumas, and the Penske Porsche duo are going 1-2 at this stage. And there has been an off-course excursion, apparently, for the number 2 Audi of Marco Werner. A little bit of an off-course run over in Madness.
Wow, that's at the end of the back straightaway. Very high entry speed there, about 100 miles an hour. So that's a big moment for Marco. We don't see any other traffic involved. Here we see it again, just logs it up, it looks like.
But one of the things is that they actually lost some positions in the pit stop, ran a little bit long, so he was obviously just pushing incredibly hard, trying to close his margin back.
Pushing hard, I don't quite understand. We checked in down on pit lane and they said everything was routine, but they came in the lead. They got leapfrogged by the 7 machine, but lost an enormous amount of time on top of that, so I'm not sure if Marco had heavy traffic on his outlaps, but certainly lost the pace of the leaders. But right now, Briscoe putting the pressure on. We understand both these cars took tires on their pit stop. They should have equal performance. Now it's coming down to the drivers. Briscoe going for his 3rd straight victory. Dumas trying to hold on and protect that championship lead.
Problem here, this is the number 26 XM Satellite Acura, and obviously right rear tire's gone.
Wow. That's Guy Smith. Herter was slow through turn 1, taking care of the traffic in front of him. Guy had a run on the outside, but that was to the left side of Herter's machine, not this side where the puncture was. Meanwhile, Briscoe is really hounding Dumas. That gap is constantly changing, dependent on traffic. But Dumas is feeling the pressure. Right now, he and Timo Bernhard have a 9-point lead in the championship chase, but there's a 4-point spread on today's race between 1st and 2nd place. So if he wins this, it'll be 13 points. If he doesn't win and becomes 2nd, the lead will be down to 5.
Dumas exits Madness, makes the left-hand approach into the carousel for the last time. Briscoe now has fallen back over a 2nd. Dumas out of the carousel. One little left-hander feeds the throttle, and they have done it. Their 3rd overall win of the season for Dumas and Bernhard. Briscoe comes through in 2nd. Another 1-2 sweep for the Penske P2 cars. The highest finishing of the P1 cars, 3rd in the hands of Marco Werner, the Audi. And here comes your leader in the GT2 division, Jörg Bergmeister. Back in the car, Van Overbeek sitting in the second spot.
What's amazing now is that with all of the attrition, the car that currently runs second is Mika Salo's number 62 machine. So that will maybe break the stern face that Mika Salo has had today after the contact with Thomas Enger.
Oliver Gavin brings the number 4 Corvette across the line first in the GT1 category, and here comes Jörg Bergmeister, second win in a row.
Romain, congratulations, third overall win, 5th straight for Porsche. Tell me, how did you not only pass the Audi, but hold on for the lead?
Well, it was clear that Timo made a perfect job. The Audi passed him with the traffic. I just pushed 5 laps during the race just to catch back the Audi. We pit on the same time. So, and I exit the pit in front of the Audi after I push again for a few laps, and just after I manage a gap. It felt possible easy from outside, but inside was a great battle with my teammate Ryan. It was really nice.
Marco Werner, a P1 winner, and after the race you just went up to Pirro and you said, "I'm sorry." Why is that?
Yeah, because I'm a little bit disappointed. I'm trying very hard, but it was not enough. We were most of the time the quickest car on the road, but that was not enough. I think we lost the race in the pits because our fueling time, it's a little bit too long, so our fueling, it's a little bit too slow, and we lost the race there because we were all the time the quickest car on the track, and the car was very good.
Ollie Evan, it looked like kind of a routine day out there. Tell us about it.
Well, it was interesting because this racetrack here in Mid-Ohio is just fantastic. They've resurfaced it about a year ago. It now has good, predictable grip in it, and you know, you can really race hard. But the Corvette C6R was fantastic today. Olivier Beretta, my teammate, did a great job, and the crew did a fantastic pit stops. But it was the 3 car was pushing all the time, and we had to be really on our game to make sure that we came home in front.
Jörg Bergmeister, second win in a row. A lot of luck from the Ferraris taking themselves out. How was your race?
Yeah, it was another gift from them, so thank you for that. Actually, in the first stint, I had to slow down it quite a bit because my tires were already grained from qualifying, so it was just about taking care of the tires. And when I got in at the end, was again just cruising around. So it was an easy day for me. The whole team did a good job, great pit stops.